Here's your smart fact of the day.
याद आ गया मुझको गुजरा ज़माना. Sorry, I'm not going to sing more than this, but this was an ad or a jingle for Indana ghee. Now, Indana ghee is coming from this Indo-Dan Industries, which has completed 54 years providing India with ghee and other products. And this is not a commercial for them. This is about them using something called nostalgia marketing, maybe nostalgia advertising in their case. And in this episode of Smarter With Sid, welcome. What we're going to do is look at nostalgia marketing and how does it work, and maybe when it doesn't work, and how you could use it for your brand or product or business. Let's go. By the way, some context here for this particular episode. I know it's nearing the end of the year, so we can get nostalgic about the year. And I think Spotify and YouTube do a great job of doing this nostalgia thing, right? So Spotify tells you how you've done in this year, and you can be all nostalgic about the kind of songs that you listen to and the kind of artists that you supported and the kind of podcasts and the rest of it. I hope that you've, listened to mine and feel a little nostalgic about them. I'm just kidding. But nostalgia marketing really explored well by Spotify and of course also by YouTube. YouTube in fact started this whole thing, and maybe even before them Facebook did. So Facebook kind of captured your memories for the year and people were sharing it across social media and it kind of became a big thing. I think nostalgia marketing has seen a revival in recent times. I mean, the Indana ghees of the world, I remember as a child. So clearly, many years ago, many moons ago, I'm not going to tell you why and describe my age to you. But the fact is, the nostalgia marketing was used in a very innocent way at that point in time. Like, for example, right now, I'm thinking in terms of winter. I'm thinking in terms of the -5 degrees that I'm experiencing here in the UK, which is experiencing a cold wave. But then I remember, the cold wave that I encountered in India when I was a kid, and nostalgia and winters are not the same anymore because of global warming and the rest of it come to mind. And clearly, the moment I slip into nostalgia mode, what tends to happen to the human brain is that I start smelling, old perfumes, and I start tasting old flavors in my head, of course, and I start seeing old sights. And that makes me reminisce about something which obviously I'm not going to get again in the hurly-burly of today's modern life, but it's something that I can certainly touch and feel really good about. And this is the nostalgia marketing that marketers can very cleverly use. I know that a lot of movies, when they're remakes, try to do this. But if they try to recreate the entire atmosphere of an old movie, check out Himmatwala and why it failed, to be honest. It is because they've carried the ethos and the treatment of the 80s without really understanding to upgrade it. The sequels that have, or not the sequels rather, pardon me, the ones which have really worked, the movies that have really worked as remakes, are the ones who understand how to pander to nostalgia but yet give it modern treatment. So I think that's lesson number one. So if I look at, a Dawn remake or, any other remake, I see modern treatment, but I'm still nostalgic about the ye old gangster films of yore. So that is something to keep in mind. Nostalgia marketing is not about creating every aspect of nostalgia, just that bit which makes you and your brain go to that special place. Now, what else is there in nostalgia marketing? When you share it on social media, whether it's Spotify or YouTube or Facebook, what it is sometimes masquerading as nostalgia, but I don't consider that only as nostalgia. It actually is a little more. It is you showcasing how brilliant your life was, or how special you are, or how talented you are, or whatever it is. I know I did that when I shared, my podcast has done so well, and wrapped it up as a creator. And I'm sure that all of us have our moments of vanity, but then it becomes vanity marketing. It's not just about nostalgia marketing, but there is a little element of vanity to it as well when you're sharing your nostalgia for other people to consume, on social media. So there's that element too. So that's principle number 2. When you're doing nostalgia, you're also probably doing vanity marketing. So if I look at nostalgia marketing, and if I look at who's doing it well and who's not doing it well, a lot of times people do nostalgia marketing just for the sake of it. The key for any successful nostalgia marketing piece is to reach that place of emotion. You cannot look at it logically, right? You cannot look at the whole thing logically. And a lot of times when you look at, oh, something is making a comeback, like for example, acid wash jeans are making a comeback. They're making a comeback to a completely new demographic, right? So the younger Gen Zers wearing retro clothes is not nostalgia marketing. So most people think that that is nostalgia. That is not nostalgia, because it's not like I'm buying acid wash jeans at a ripe old age. If I'm buying acid wash jeans, then it becomes nostalgia. On the other hand, if I'm buying vinyl records because I remember how sound used to sound like without digital intervention, then that becomes nostalgia. That is nostalgia because I'm still the same generation. Or if I see a movie, on repeat, or if I, kind of eat a certain food on repeat. So nostalgia is a very powerful sort of place. And before you knock it, try to understand whether your brand actually is old enough, venerable enough, or strong enough to use nostalgia. Whether it's old doesn't apply to Spotify or YouTube, but they're strong enough to create those memories for you. And I think any person who's looked at old photo albums knows exactly what YouTube or Facebook or Spotify are doing. They're using the same principle. And they're putting it on steroids because it's also about, vanity marketing. My suggestion to all marketers out there is use nostalgia marketing at your own peril, because if you do it badly, it'll end up like a himmat wala. If you do it really well, it might end up like Indana Ghee, which is still seemingly going strong with, all of its products, or like Spotify and YouTube. But remember that with nostalgia comes a lot of other stuff too in marketing, which you need to get right. So it's no point in just creating a piece of advertising which is going to make people feel all gooey and emotional for a little while. The functional benefit of nostalgia is essentially, I am becoming younger, or I am becoming romantic, or I am becoming just emotional. So I am accessing my own previous self through your brand or product. So it's a very precious, fragile thing. If you kind of treat it lightly, it's not going to work. Well, that's my take on nostalgia marketing. I hope you like this episode. We're coming towards the end of the year, but this podcast is going to go strong into the next year. What's going to come soon is maybe something on goals and stuff like that, but not in a boring way. We've done a bit of that of late, but not boring you, of course, but of goals and stuff like that. But I think I'll present a different take on that very soon to you. If you like this episode, do like and subscribe to it. It helps this a lot. And also, I'm the traveling professor, so follow me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and hey, like podcasts like these, just check out all the other stuff that IBM's got for you. On that happy note then,